Hi guys, it's Erica, and right here I have my Cebu Pothos, and it really needs some help. So it may look really nice, but that's because I just watered it yesterday, and every single time I water it, it needs to sit in a tray for like over an hour so that it absorbs the water. So I'm thinking that this thing is a little bit root bound, so it definitely needs to be repotted. Like, it can't stay like this any longer. I can't keep watering it this often. So what I'm gonna do is repot it, and I have this pot that I'm planning on putting it in, but I feel like this pot is just huge. So what I'm probably gonna do, yeah, this pot is absolutely ginormous for this plant, but I feel like I don't have any other size, and since I feel like this thing is root bound, I don't think it should go in a pot the same size, and this is the next size up that I have. So that's what's happening. That's what's happening right now. So just a little bit of backstory on this plant. I feel like whenever it's thirsty, it droops. It has a couple of yellow and dying leaves in here, and it's probably because it hasn't been getting enough water. So that's why I want to repot it right now. Like, this can't be left like this any longer. So I'm gonna put it in this pot, and I'm kind of sad that I'm putting it in this pot because I like having this plant hanging. So what I'm probably gonna do is eventually, I don't know when, I'm gonna eventually stake this plant up so that its leaves can also get a lot bigger. That's what's going on right now. I'm gonna make my own soil mixture for this, and I really love mixing soils together. So this time I'm gonna make my own, and I hope it will turn out okay. I'm like fine with making a soil mixture for this plant because it's a pothos. If I make a bad soil mixture, it'll be fine. So I have my little mixing tray here. The ingredients that I'm using today are coco. This is from the last time I made a soil mixture, which was for my monstera. That was the first time that I made my own soil mixture, and this is going to be the second time without using a, prepackaged mix. So I'm really excited. I like doing it. I'm going to be using worm castings, a little bit of orchid bark, and probably gonna be a lot of perlite. I love perlite. Since I'm gonna be making my own mixture, I am someone who does not like to water their plants often. So I'm definitely not an over waterer, really. The only time I'll overwater a plant is if, I don't know, I'll overwater a plant if it's a peperomia. That's it. Usually I'm not an overwaterer. I usually wait till the last minute till the plant looks like it needs water. It's a bad habit that I have, but knowing that, having that knowledge of my bad habits, I can, change up the soil to be more water retentive, but I don't want it to be too water retentive because I don't want my plant's roots to rot. So with that being said, I'm gonna have 50% coco, and coco is gonna be the water retaining part of this mixture. So this is where all the water retention is coming from. You could also use peat moss, but I was watching a lot of soil videos like in preparation for making my own soil, and in Plantarina's one of her videos, she said that peat moss is not a renewable source. Like, they actually get it from the peat bogs. So I have a bag of it, and now I feel really bad for having it. So that's good information to know, that peat moss is taken from peat bogs, so it's not a renewable resource. But coco is, because it's just from coconut husks. So I'm really excited to be using this. This is going to be the water retentive component, and I'm going to have 50% coco. It's a big pot that I have to fill, so I'm probably going to be putting a lot. This is my coco, 50% coco, and then I'm going to add in 30% perlite. I absolutely love perlite. I don't know why I love perlite so much. It's just perlite. So I'm out. So I'm gonna grab, I got a new bag. I saw it coming. Here's my new bag of perlite. It's also Miracle-Gro. I think Miracle-Gro perlite is fine. I haven't used any other perlite. So 30%. Oh my gosh, a fresh bag of perlite. The perlite balls are so big. I'm trying to make a pie chart so that all the percentages can be visually seen. Perlite, check. And then I'm gonna add 10% orchid bark. This is fine grade, so it shouldn't be too chunky for the roots to grow through. And I'm going to have 10% worm castings for a nutritional, oops. So that might be more worm castings than I wanted. But this is supposed to be 50% coco coir, 10% worm castings, 10% orchid bark, and 30% perlite. And I'm just gonna mix that up with my spoon, and I'm gonna see how the mixture looks, because I like it to be noticeable, very noticeable, that there are lots of amendments in the soil. I've been wanting to try semi-hydroponics, like growing in leca and stuff, but I just want to try it out because I really love mixing soil, and I think it's really fun to repot plants and stuff, so I don't want to take out that part of plant life. This is how the mixture is looking. I think it looks pretty good. Let's hope that it has enough amendments. Like I said, I want it to be more water retentive because I do not tend to water my plants often, so just keep that in mind if you want to make this as your soil mixture. And I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I'm just gonna dump out the roots and stuff into this soil. Just personally for me, I think it's fine to reuse the soil that your plant was originally in, because it's kind of used to that soil. I don't know if that's actually scientifically correct, but that's how I feel. But I know that sometimes you need to kind of repot your plants because all the nutrients in the soil were already used up, and I don't think that's the case for my Cebu blue, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on with this guy. Okay, I'm gonna actually put this in here. Okay, let me tell you, I am not really that big of a fan of repotting trailing plants though. Oh, yeah. There it is. This guy definitely needed to be repotted. Oh wow, his roots are dry. Oh geez. Okay, so I have definitely waited too long to repot him. So I'm gonna actually go outside and wash up the soil with a hose because it is so root bound. I could just carry it around like this and no dirt is really falling. Okay you guys, I'm back and I just sprayed down the roots of this plant so that they can be freed. So as you can see, they're no longer tangled together as a root ball. So if you're repotting your plant because it's root bound, or just repotting in general, sometimes the root ball can be so tight that if you do not kind of loosen up the roots and make sure that they're not all tangled together, they won't even go into the new soil that you're repotting your plant into, because they're so tightly compacted. They're not going to be able to find their way into the new soil, so repotting is going to be kind of like you did it for nothing. So you want to make sure that it's loosened. If you're like me and you're very uncomfortable with kind of ripping apart the roots with your hands, I would definitely recommend to go outside and just put your hose on the jet spray setting and then just spray it down. 2 roots broke off, so I think that's a very minimal amount of roots to break off from how tight that root ball was, because look how long these roots are, and they're very thick too. So I'm really glad that I did that. And I no longer think that this pot is too big for the plant. I think that it's the perfect size actually, because those roots were a lot more, the root ball was just a lot bigger than I thought it was. I didn't think that it was gonna be this pot bound. So I'm really glad that I'm repotting it right now, and I'm thinking it's gonna be really happy in its new soil. So this is a good thing that's going on. I'm gonna set it down on the floor while I put just like a base layer of soil down. So I'm not gonna go too deep on the soil, just like an inch or so. I'm gonna have the bottom filled with soil so that it doesn't grow. The roots aren't gonna be right at the bottom of the pot. And I'm just gonna set this little guy in here, and that's perfect. Oh, let me show you how much soil I put. So I put like an inch of soil down at the bottom, so it's like up to here, just so that the roots have somewhere to go down, because they're very long right now and I was not expecting that. So I'm gonna put him in his new home and kind of make sure that there's no trails inside the pot. There we go. And now I can fill it up with soil, and I'm making sure that this plant is centered, and it is centered. I'm actually kind of happy that it has these long long vines, because it makes it easier for, like, the plant is holding itself up in this pot. But the only thing is going to be putting the dirt inside now, so I'm going to do that. So I'm actually going to stand up to do this because it's going to be easier that way. Okay, so I didn't make enough soil. It was almost enough, but this area right here still needs a little bit more soil, and I kind of wish that I put it deeper into the pot. So that was a mistake that I made. So I'm gonna make a little bit more soil mixture. I think I'm gonna make a little bit more soil. I think I should just make too much rather than too little this time. 50% coca coir, 30% perlite, 10% orchid bark, and 10%. Here's the rest of the mixture that I hope fills up the rest of the pot. Okay, hopefully this is enough. I finally successfully repotted the Cebu blue. All its roots are under soil. I'm gonna clean up a little bit and then I'm gonna be back. Okay, so here's my repotted Cebu blue. Now that he's actually in the pot, this pot is a perfect size, and I originally thought it was too big, which just goes to show you how long it's been in this tiny little pot with its roots all coiled up at the bottom, which is why the water wasn't staying. So like I was saying, I had to water it every 2 or 3 days, which is ridiculous for a pothos, because it wouldn't be like checking the soil and seeing that it was dry. It would be like the pothos would noticeably droop, and usually they don't noticeably droop until they really need water and they haven't been watered in a long time. So that's when I kind of like knew I needed to repot it, but I just kind of kept putting it off. And after looking at it, like, it really did need to be repotted, and I don't think I should have waited that long. But now he finally has a new home, and he can hopefully grow some fuller vines because it definitely needed more water than I was getting. So I'm gonna water him, and I'm gonna put him back outside where he belongs, although he's not gonna be hanging from my ceiling anymore, which is sad. But he's probably so happy in this pot, and I don't know if I'm gonna stake him up yet, because usually when you stake these up, then their leaves get even bigger and they even get fenestrations. One cutting I took of this little guy has 2 tiny little fenestrations, but I love them a lot. So I'm definitely gonna water this plant right now, and that is it for today's video. I don't know how long it is. I also wanted to put some cuttings into soil, but I feel like this video has gone on very long, so it's probably gonna be in a separate video. But yeah, if you guys have any comments about my soil mixture, what you think about it, if you use your own soil mixture, how do you make it? I was also thinking about, after making the soil mixture 3 times, just making like a giant batch of soil and then storing it and using it whenever I needed, but I don't know how great of an idea that is. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!